Visitor arrivals to the Pacific region grew by 3.7% in 2016 when compared to the same period in 2015. These figures were released by the South Pacific Tourism Organization this week following the completion of its annual review of visitor arrivals for 2016. The results are in line with global tourist arrival figures, which grew by 3.9%, with the Asia-Pacific region recording an increased growth of 8.4% for the same period. In the region, SPTE member countries Cook Islands, Fiji, French Polynesia, Kiribati, New Caledonia, Niue, Samoa, the Solomon Islands, Timor-Leste, Tonga, Tuvalu, Marshall Islands and Vanuatu all received more tourists when compared to the same period the previous year. Fiji maintained its supremacy as the lead tourism destination in the region with 40% market share, followed by French Polynesia at 9.5% share, PNG at 8.8%, the Cook Islands and Samoa each with 7.2%, and Palau at 6.8% share. The remaining 20% was shared among all the other destinations in the region. Visitors from Australia and New Zealand continue to dominate the arrivals in the region, accounting for 52% of the total visitor arrivals in 2016. More than 75 international travel wholesalers and tour operators from 17 countries globally will experience a flavor of Pacific arts, culture and the warmth of its people when they converge at the South Pacific Tourism Exchange in Sydney this weekend. Visitors to the two-day event will be immersed in a Pacific experience that focuses on the importance of sustaining the tourism industry. This will be done through Pacific dances and entertainment, culinary experience of Pacific foods and the uniqueness of the Pacific and its preservation for the future, creating a truly Pacifica atmosphere. Held annually, South Pacific Tourism Exchange presents an opportunity for 68 Pacific tourism and travel operators to showcase their products to international buyers who are curious about the Pacific as a destination. The exchange provides tourism operators access to international travel and tour operators under the one roof and provides an opportunity to discuss new packages and products that have been introduced. All the 16 Pacific Island country members of SPTE will have booths at the event. Hello again. The region's largest tourism exhibition got underway this morning. Major tourism operators from across the Pacific are participating at the South Pacific Tourism Exhibition that took centre stage today in Sydney, Australia. Senior journalist Rachel Nath has the details.
It's the biggest annual tourism event connecting the South Pacific to the world. Attracting 79 buyers and 110 sellers, the regional tourism exhibition is displaying the best of the Pacific on offer. Organized by the South Pacific Tourism Organization in partnership with the BSP Bank, the event is expected to draw interest from agents in the UK, US, Europe, China, Australia and New Zealand.
This is only once a year event, and it's good to network and to keep in contact and to be in their face, so to speak, it's very important for the whole region.
SPTE is a very good event for us to showcase and promote our Kiribati tourism as a destination, and in a couple of days I think it will help us network with the buyers, and we'll get a lot of benefit out of it.
The International Convention Centre is playing host to the region's largest tourism extravaganza. SPTE hopes this event will help propel the Pacific brand.
They'll be doing a lot of business-to-business meetings today, social networking, experiencing a lot of the Pacific foods and the entertainment that we'll be having that's incorporated as well in the program. And then, when you're talking about our theme as well, which is linked to sustainable tourism, with 2017 being the International Year for Sustainable Tourism for Development, SPTE is the event that we've dedicated to commemorate this international year. So the theme is Our Islands is Yours to Travel, Enjoy and Respect. So with that, we're hoping as well is to encourage responsible tourism, responsible travel amongst our visitors, as well as in terms of our tour operators and our travel agents that we work with.
Representatives from 16 Pacific Island countries are attending the Regional Tourism Exchange. Rachana Nath, Fiji One News in Sydney, Australia.
Visitor arrivals for April 2017 reached a record 68,495. This is an increase of 17.8% compared to a year earlier. Visitors arriving for holiday purposes accounted for 76.2% of total arrivals. 9% came to visit their friends or relatives, 3.9% came for business purposes, while 10.9% visited Fiji for other reasons. There were increases in the number of visitors from Australia, New Zealand, the United States of America, continental Europe, Pacific Islands, Canada, China, Japan, and South Korea. The only decrease was recorded for visitors from the United Kingdom, which was down by 1.5%. The two-day regional tourism exchange organized by the South Pacific Tourism Organization has ended on a high. Over 79 exhibitors from across the region showcased what they had to offer at Sydney's International Convention Centre this week. Tourism agents and buyers from the US, Europe, China, Australia and New Zealand were present and negotiated deals with regional tourism operators. SPTE says the event has proved successful in marketing the Pacific as an ideal exotic tourist destination. The regional exchange provided a platform for tourism operators to wholesale their services to travel agents in a bid to bring tourist dollars into the Pacific.
We have available in the Pacific, better understanding of the destination, also the ability to see opportunities in the Pacific in the tourism sector, and the ability to go back and with this enhanced knowledge to increase our profile as specific destinations, as well as educate the people in the front line in their respective offices to be able to sell and promote our Pacific nations in this case.
The region's fastest growing bank that's thrown its support behind the exchange is also hoping that SPTE will continue to help grow the Pacific brand.
Our South Pacific countries are all great tourism destinations, and tourism plays a large part of the individual economies. As BSP commenced expansion into the Pacific, joining hands with SPTO to facilitate SPTE was a great way for BSP to give back to those countries in which we operate.
You're watching another episode of Talk Business, and a special welcome to all our viewers who are tuning in via YouTube from around the world. Welcome to the show. This week on the show, we preview the upcoming Regional Tourism Exchange to be held in Sydney in Australia. Talk Business catches up with the organisers of the upcoming event, the South Pacific Tourism Organisation, and several local tourism operators who will be participating at the region's biggest tourism extravaganza. That's all coming up in the next half hour. Swaying coconut palms and idyllic sandy beaches are what some 25,000 islands throughout the Pacific are renowned for. While we may just appear as a splatter of dots spread across the world's largest ocean, the South Pacific is a diverse region. It conjures up the best of what any ideal tourist destination can offer: sun, sea, sand, and surf. But make no mistake, no two Pacific Island country is interchangeable. Each has developed its own unique history, landscape, wildlife, and culture. As a region, the South Pacific still remains an exotic destination, off the beaten track and still somewhat the least explored, which is why our vast archipelago continues to fascinate the throngs of people who journey to our shores. In fact, the numbers speak for themselves. Last year, the tourism arrivals into the Pacific stood at 2 million visitors. 42% of these tourists were to Fiji alone, and the rest was spread across the Pacific Island countries. This has represented a growth of 4.6% in the last 6 years. It's numbers like this the South Pacific Tourism Organization attests makes the region truly a growing tourist destination. All the more reason, SPTE argues, makes economic sense to market our region. And that's what the Regional Tourism Exchange is all about. Australia's sophisticated city, Sydney, will this year play host to the regional event, which is expected to draw tourism stakeholders from around the world.
The main thing with these trade shows is bringing the buyers and the sellers together combined in this focus, and of course the whole expectation out of this whole trade show is to further enhance the increase of the visitor arrivals.
Currently, 51% of all tourist arrivals into the Pacific is from Australia and New Zealand and our traditional source markets. These tourists visit the top 5 destinations in the region: Fiji, French Polynesia, PNG, Cook Islands, and Samoa. Around $3.3 billion is earned from tourism across the Pacific, with 61,000 Pacific Islanders directly benefiting through employment.
If you look at all the other sectors, tourism is the only sector that has been growing in the past years in this case. The wonderful thing about tourism as well, if I can expand, it's also very labor intensive. We're having a lot of challenges with the unemployment rates in our Pacific Island countries. And this is one way we could counteract this and address this issue. And of course, the wonderful thing with tourism as well, most of the people who are employed in this industry are youth as well as women. And these are key target sectors within the gender balance that we're wanting to address in this case. And I think, and the other good thing about tourism, it has connections to all the other sectors in this case. And I look at it as like a hub in a wheel with the different spokes connecting to the other sectors.
With the best of our tourism offerings from the 16 Pacific Island countries on display, the exchange is expected to draw attention to the region from outside our traditional source markets, which is why targeting long-haul markets is a smart strategic move to ensure regional tourism evolves.
And when we say high impact, particularly in our economies, and low impact in terms of our culture as well as the environment. And also these tourists are more multi-destination visitors. They'll come to the Pacific and visit a few of our island. We'll go island hopping in this case. Particularly with Australia, with our short-haul markets, Australia, they'll just come to one destination. They'll probably just visit Fiji, Vanuatu, or Cook Islands. But a long-haul market visitor will come in and visit them.
Because they're making the long trip,
yes.
They might as well do a few.
Yeah, and they'll be here for about a month or so.
Now, more than ever, tourism holds true potential for Pacific Island countries that already have a unique product to offer travelers from various markets. The Pacific's fastest growing bank now has thrown its support behind the regional tourism meet, acknowledging that tourism remains a key focus area for the Pacific.
Bank of South Pacific, BSP, they've come in to partner with us, and it is an excellent partnership because tourism is a very interesting sector because it has a lot of private sector involvement in it. And without private sector involvement, our economies in this case will not sort of develop and further promote. And that's one good thing about tourism. Out of all the other sectors, it has a lot of high proportion of private sector involvement that they depend on in this case. So with BSP in the whole in the partnership that we have, I know their strategy is basically is their way of branching out to the Pacific and particularly giving back to the Pacific community through tourism.
There's no secret that Fiji leads in every sense of the word when it comes to the overall tourist experience. Having a well-refined Fiji brand has also helped propel our tourism industry in familiar and new markets. which is why we continue to draw the biggest chunk of visitor arrivals into our part of the world. So what is it about Fiji that makes us so attractive? Why would tourists spend their top or last dollar with us? SPTE reckons Fiji has a practical segmentation of tourism, which ensures a little something for any traveller. This is what other Pacific Island countries need to start marketing.
The Pacific, I'd say it's like a menu with different islands in this case, with totally different. And I mean, we all know that each of our islands, and some people who have never traveled the Pacific think that we're all the same, but absolutely, I've been to all of them. They're all different in terms of landscape, in terms of culture, and this is what we need to promote in terms of people, is the unique selling points.
SPTE hopes the regional exchange will offer tourism operators from around the Pacific a platform to further grow their clientele. It's exactly what the folks at Rosie Holidays have in mind.
The South Pacific is a very important region for our business, and SPTE has always been a very effective platform to reach out to our partners in the world and talk to them about what we have to offer as a region in the South Pacific. So yes, we are based in Fiji, but we also promote the South Pacific to the rest of the world because the South Pacific is still regarded as one of the last frontiers of tourism, and so it has a very exotic appeal about it. And so when we go to the far-flung markets like Europe and Asia and China, there's still very little understanding, very little exposure, very little appreciation of where we are. And so it's very important that we first of all promote the region, and that underpins the whole positioning of Fiji in terms of our position within the South Pacific. So we've always supported SPTE from its inception because they also bring a very interesting cross-section of buyers from across the different markets of the world.
Forming synergies and sharing experiences with other tourist operators will also help the overall Pacific brand.
Tourism is all about relationships. It's not a physical product that you can buy off the shelf. It's really about inspiring confidence in the tour operators that Fiji is indeed, and the South Pacific for that matter, is indeed a very credible destination product. And a lot of it comes down to the relationships, the trust that's placed upon us. And so we carry a huge burden of responsibility in the trust that's put on us by the tour operators, many of whom actually have never come to the South Pacific or to Fiji for that matter. And so meeting at these venues, they really take it on our word that, you know, what we are promoting on those lovely brochures, on the back walls, are really exactly what we're offering. And so for us, it's important that we look after that trust as much as possible and make sure that we deliver on what we promise.
Our national carrier will